The DC4 Integra, one of the most popular choices for driving on the mountain pass. You're bound to encounter something like this, with aftermarket LEDs, exhaust, wheels, probably a quick release wheel so it doesn't get stolen as fast. This one's got the 5-speed transmission and the Honda B18 engine. No VTEC, I know. Tires, Christ on a stick, we'll get to that later on. Right now, I want to show you how this Integra drives. Right off the bat, this exhaust is loud as shit. You can't hear it because of post-editing, but there's a constant low-frequency drone. For a 10 to 30 minute canyon run, I guess it's fine, but for an endurance race, no thanks. But it is good for practicing rev matching. Speaking of that, the pedal spacing is great for heel toe and left foot braking. It's what you'd expect from 90s Honda. Not as forgiving as most modern cars, but still pretty easy. Power delivery is alright. It suffers during low speed corner exits since it's starting from the bottom of the power band. It's true that with 142 peak horsepower, it'll be a challenge to compete with modern sports cars, but on downhill segments, it's plenty. It's not a slow car by any means. In fact, it's one of the better choices for practicing on front wheel drive platforms. There is no traction control, so it's an honest driving experience, but the ABS gives that extra safety factor. Parts availability won't be an issue, and maintenance is essentially hassle-free. However, I found two major components that are preventing this car from reaching its limit. The first one is the brakes. I'm actually not sure what this car uses, but it feels worse than stock. At first, it gave a solid stopping distance, but there was noticeable brake fade only 5 minutes into the drive. And that's not even with threshold braking. I was surprised since this DC4 has a lightweight chassis, but a brake upgrade can easily fix this. The biggest factor that's holding this car back is the tires. Apparently, Yokohama used some shitty-ass hard compound for the YK580 series because it breaks traction even at small weight transfers. Some of you may have noticed that I do some slight trail braking on the low-speed corners, which on stock tires would help rotate the car by decreasing rear tire load. On this set, the front tires break traction first, and the rest is understeer. The difference in surface wetness did make a difference, but I tested these tires on dry conditions and they were still ass. Thankfully, the stance crowd didn't fuck up this Integra, so it's still using stock suspension. It's good, but nothing astonishing. There is noticeable body roll, but the tires are kept well planted on the road. The spring and damping rates make sense for a canyon run. It's stiff enough to make quick changes in consecutive corners, but soft enough to handle uneven surfaces. I also have to mention, the aftermarket steering wheel really helped with the kinesthetic feedback. It's something you'd have to try yourself since the video doesn't do justice. On top of that, the smaller diameter wheel helps counteract the slow steering rack. That's all I can really say about the car's drivability at this point. I would need more seat time to give you a better introspective. Clearly, the results would be different based on driver, car setup, and road, but this video should give a general idea of how the Integra drives. So, is this a good car for the mountain pass? I'll give it a 4 out of 10 in the speed category. Not necessarily bad, since it must now compete with all the modern technology. For practicality, which I believe is equally as important, I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10. A good canyon car should be able to work when a driver needs it to, and the Integra delivers. It's not difficult to find a used one as long as you're okay with it not being stock. I'd certainly recommend this car for drivers of any skill set, just be sure to get better tires. The Integra would especially be useful for rear-wheel drive users that want to practice on another drivetrain layout. If you like this type of video, let me know what car I should find and review next. I like the first-person point of view since it allows you as the audience to make a visual judgment. I'm hoping this style will make a comeback over the rear-facing, ass-backwards view that everybody seems to be using. Either way, the next video will be released in 14 days as usual. See you then. Bye.